What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. The Three Joes. The Three Joe Buddens. Joe Budden. He's a guy of many personalities that people think he's got mental abuse, drug abuse he suffered from alcoholism. He's battled through everything and now he's coming up roses. And that's a good thing. And me, I didn't like Joe for a long time. I couldn't stand him because of his personality, things he was doing. And it occurred to me that I didn't like a part of Joe Budden because the other Joe Buddens is great. And I realized it's three Joe Buddens. It's three living in one body. There are three Joe Buddens. You got Podcast Joe, who is AKA Rapper Joe. That's Podcast Joe Budden. Then you have the State of the Culture Joe Budden. Then there's the Joe Budden I can't stand. And that is the Love and Hip Hop Joe Budden. That's the Joe Budden I don't like. And that's the one I would normally see and hear from. And that's the one that would get on my nerves and irritate me and make me not like Joe Budden. I was like, see, this is why I don't like you. It's that Love and Hip Hop Joe. See, once you break down the psychology of it, now you see what is going on. There's three Joes living in one body. Now, Podcast Joe is a free Joe. That's the rapper, the MC, the arts and craft. He's just free to speak about how he truly feels about the subjects that's going on. He's free. It's relaxation. It's Podcast Joe. Then there's the State of the Culture Joe. I gotta do this to feed my family. I don't want to mess up this bag. That's that Joe. Love and Hip Hop Joe is, I'm gonna do this part of this is my acting. This is for the screen. This is for entertainment. I'm here for this role. And I'm doing this so I can be a star and be seen and stand out. And they're going to notice me. I'm that Joe. And all three of these Joes are living in one body. Now, the problem is all three of these guys never show up on the same day. They show up for their moments in time. And now they got three shows to keep them all separate in one box. Now we see the three Joes operate. But could you imagine if all of his personalities, all three of those guys was in one room, then you could really see it? Like if he did Split or something, and you had all those Joe Buddens there, and they kept flashing a light, and then here come the other Joes. Like you won't see State of the Culture Joe on the podcast show. He won't be on the Joe Budden podcast. You won't see him there. You won't see Love and Hip Hop Joe Budden on the podcast show. Won't happen. You won't see Podcast Joe on State of the Culture. Or you won't see him on Love and Hip Hop. It just don't work. So, like when you saw the Eminem situation that happened with Joe, and you heard him on the podcast, you knew you weren't going to get that same energy on the State of the Union. But let's say all three of these Joes was in the same room and they had a conversation. Can you imagine how that conversation would go down? That would be the craziest conversation in history. Podcast Joe walk in and be like, Yo, what's up? Why am I in this room right now? Where is Rory and Maul? I'm ready to, go do this show, knock this out. Why they got me in the room with you two? State of the Union Joe and Loving Hip Hop Joe. Now, right away, Podcast Joe ain't gonna be happy to be in this room. He's just ready to leave. I'm just not comfortable in this room. You know, I'd rather just be doing my show, and getting to work. uh, I want to get out of here, but tell me when Rory and Maul show up. State of the Union Joe speaks. Well, listen, before you leave, Podcast Joe, uh, why? Express to me your feelings right now. Why would you want to leave? Why do you feel like you can't be in the room with us? We're you, but we want to know why you can't be in this room, Joe. And what is the problem? Is it not? I know it can't be me. So it obviously has to be Loving Hip Hop you. Look, first off, I just want to say everybody better stop talking on my name. When you say Loving Hip Hop Joe, you also say Joe who sold the records. Yes, I had a one-hit wonder. So what? Yes, I have a baby with sin, and don't worry about when we gonna get married. Okay? Listen, my life is my life, and I don't have to explain myself to my other selves. Okay? So I tell you what, if you don't want to be in this room, you can step. No one's keeping you here. This is my area. I don't care if you want to say something or if you see. I don't care how you feel. I'm going to do what I want to do. That's very interesting you said that, Joe. And I respect your feelings 100%. I just want to know why Podcast Joe wants to leave. Look, I respect you, State of the Union Joe. I expect you 100% across the board. But I don't feel like I even need to explain to him why he wants to leave this room. I don't care why he's here. I didn't invite him. He just showed up. Really, I don't care to talk to you or you. Because first off, Loving Hip Hop Joe, you're fake. Okay? You wouldn't have that same energy if Jay Prince, Mano, 50, anybody was in your face. You would back down and you would sit there and hold a doggone wet towel full of ice on your eye. Like you did when Ray's homeboy popped us in it. All of a sudden, you showed up. Okay? So no more talk from Loving Hip Hop Joe. It seems like you're still harboring those feelings from way back when. I thought you would have let that go, Podcast Joe. But obviously, it's still on your mind. So I'm saying, Loving Hip Hop Joe and Podcast Joe, you guys went through a traumatic experience during the Raekwon incident. Tell us the moment after the punch. Like, because you were the one of the first people to go live, Podcast Joe. But that wasn't really you who took that punch. You said Loving Hip Hop Joe took that punch. Explain that. How did that transition happen? Because Loving Hip Hop Joe didn't even exist yet. I don't care. See, he's insecure. He wants to blame everything on me. I don't care. Podcast Joe doesn't like me. I was out way before Loving Hip Hop. That's what I'm saying. Everyone, he's obviously got anger issues. I don't. This guy here showed up because he loves the camera. He wanted to go live. And yes, we did start that early on. But I was ready to do my show. And Love and Hip Hop Joe showed up. And this is before Love and Hip Hop even existed. He's a fiend for the camera. He was talking reckless, and he got us hit. So, you know, we all felt it. That's very interesting. So, anyway, this would be one of the greatest television shows ever. So, Joe Budden, if you want to, you should have the three Joes, have all three of your personalities in the room, let them all go for it, because it'll be all worth it. Wouldn't y'all want to see the three Joes? The three Joe Buddens. I'm all for it. Anyway, if you like what you heard, don't forget to donate to the page. Click the link in the description box. Leave me a message in the Streamlab. Let me know what you thought about it. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out. Excellent. Excellent. See no pays. Rent.
The Shy is the show. This is an object. To put away childish enthusiasm. I don't even know that it's wrong for him to do what he's doing. Only that I don't